everyone, and welcome back to a new video. So I have been asked how I do my 999 Telos claims. So in this video I'm just going to go over how I do my kills, and hopefully you can learn something from it, because it is definitely worth learning. Because when you're doing 999 claims, the unique drops have a higher drop chance, so for an Ironman it's a really good option. Please enjoy. Okay, so with your magic armor, just use the best that you have. The best that I have is Virtus, so that's what I'm using with Cinderbanes. Max Cape, Souls, Ring of Death. Large rune pouch with Air Surge and Vulnerability. If you do have Vuln Bombs or you're a main account and you can just buy them, I would recommend using Ancients, because it's just a lot more smooth for minions. And a Scrimshaw of the Elements definitely helps, but it's not needed. And I will be 4-ticking with Dual Wield Tier 85. If you have better weapons, then of course you can use that. And honestly, I wouldn't really recommend using Virtus, unless you're really good at prayer flicking, because it's basically paper. For your aura, definitely use Maniacal. I would not recommend anything else. Rune's just not very good, and Majorat is decent, but I wouldn't recommend. Just always use Maniacal, it's just going to make everything so much more smooth. So if you're a main account trying to learn 999, then maybe bring a yak or a mammoth, because if you run out of food you can just buy some more. But for an Ironman I wouldn't really recommend that, because food is very precious on an Ironman. So let's go through my perks. I have a tier 90 Merciless with Turtling 4, which gives you 14-second barricades. Top has Relentless 5 Crackling 4 with Biting 4 Mobile. I would definitely recommend Mobile. Legs have Enhanced Devoted 4 and Impatient 4. Also, I would definitely recommend Enhanced Devoted. Aftershock 4 on my wand, and P4E2 on my orb. My staff has pretty bad perks, Aftershock 3 and Precise 5. I would recommend upgrading both of them. Also, I would definitely recommend 4-ticking, because it gives you a lot more DPS than just camping staff. I bring an Overload, a Replenishment, a Prayer Potion, and a Super Restore. For main accounts, just bring 2 Super Restores. I bring 6 Super Brews and 6 Rocktails. You don't need Super Brews. When I learned 999, I just used normal brews, but it's just a lot more comfortable using Super Brews for the extra 300 heal. So Dreadnips are definitely going to help. I also bring a Vitality Potion. It's not really needed, I don't use it. I just keep it there for safety, in case I mess up on P4 and get so much power. Then the Vitality will bring me to like 20,000 life points. I wouldn't recommend bringing an Arcane, because your prayer is just going to get ruined after you're so much power. And you're just going to end up with 0 prayer points and like 2,000 life points. And then it's just hard to eat back up. 1 dose prayer renewal, 1 dose weapon poison, a ring of vigor, and a Psyware wand with my planted feet for sunshine. I use the Excalibur spec on P4 in one of the fonts. Definitely bring a G-Staff. It's just going to help so much with Telos' defense, and it's definitely going to stop you splashing a lot. And let's get into the kill. I will try and use some bad clips, just so you can see what happens when things go wrong. Always start off your kills with 100% Adren. Make sure before you go in that your spells are set, because if your spells are not set, then yeah, goodbye kill. Weapon poison, prayer renewal, put on your planted feet, protect from melee and torment, or tier 99 prayer, whatever you have. Activate your Scrimshaw and drink your Overload. Activate Maniacal, and you're good to go. Start off with a Devotion, Surge and Sunshine. Put on your staff, Vuln, Debreath, Impact, Combust and Corruption. Into Deep Impact, auto attack Asphyx. Now just keep DPSing until Tendril, and stun as much as you can. Just before Tendril, I Deep Impact and charge my Detonate. Although an auto attack wild magic is just as good, you definitely don't need Detonate. I like to run to the opposite side of the room, just so I know my Asphyx is going to come back, and hopefully Telos wastes his freedom, so I know he's not going to use freedom at the start of P2. Now, the start of P2 is a fantastic way to build some HP back up from Soul Split. So you're going to start off with a Vuln and either Corruption or Combust, auto attack into Impact, Deep Impact, auto attack Asphyxiate, and this should give you a couple of thousand HP back from Soul Split. Just keep DPSing, stay out of the black beam. If Telos goes into the beam, then just try and run away. After the Mage Onslaught, Hold Still is coming, so you can get a lovely heal back to full life points. And just keep DPSing again. Try and phase it before or after the uppercut or the virus. If you get Tendril and you phase it, then on P3 you're going to get Hold Still first, which you don't want. So at the start of P3 you're going to use Vuln and Combust into an auto attack Impact and instantly Metamorphosis. Go into the red beam when it spawns. Hopefully you're at 65% Adren. Wild Magic with Dual Wield into an auto attack Asphyxiate with Staff. Maybe even throw in some Soul Split heals. Before P4 starts, I do like to G-Staff because it's some nice DPS and gives you the debuff. Now just keep DPSing until P4. I don't use any food or brews on phase 1, 2, and 3 because Soul Split Flicks and Invaders just stop me from needing any food. So at the start of P4 I Vuln into Combust and just try and stun him as much as possible. So impacts, deep impacts, and asphyxiates until 112.5k. And personally I like to kill the red minion. So when minions are about to spawn, I target the red minion and run into the font with Reflect. And don't be afraid to use wild magic on the red minion, because it just makes everything more comfortable when the red minion's not there, because it can easily mess up the whole kill if he stuns you. I always release Detonate with an auto attack and impact into Asphyxiate and then Deep Impact. And I always finish with a Gothic Staff. For the affinity, try and phase it just after a spec, so you have 3 autos before so much power. Run into the font and Reflect whilst DPSing the red minion. This was a pretty bad P4, should have detonated it a long time ago, but the red minion was still up. So I impact to break his freedom into Asphyxiate and Deep Impact. Then I target the minions. I use Devotion and just attack the minions. And as soon as he so much powers, I can Resonance. If your DPS is good enough, you can just skip the so much power, but it's a lot more safe if you let him spec, just so you don't accidentally get it on the third font. Again, target the red minion and run into the third font. As soon as the red minion is done, charge up Detonate. Release with an auto attack Impact into Asphyxiate and Deep Impact. And I like to eat to full just before I phase it. So this is a really bad phase 5. I Resonance and run into the green beam and Sunshine. Use a Dreadnip and Impact on Telos, Revenge, into Asphyxiate, Deep Impact, And if you want to throw a wild magic in, you can. Barricade, corruption on the minions, charge up detonate, release with a dragon breath into tsunami. That was a pretty bad clear. Before the virus, I debilitate and reflect and then run into the beam. And then I just try and finish off all of the minions. And then once all the minions are done, re-dreadnip on Telos and wait for the rock to spawn for an onslaught. Now in this clip I was low life points, so I did have to cancel my onslaught really early. So this would have been a 0 font, but I had to cancel so I could eat. If your onslaught was good, then the kill should very easily be a 0 font. If you had to cancel it, then just DPS, stun it as much as possible, and wait for the insta-kill. So when he insta-kills, I throw a Sliske Staff spec, and I immortality. And just before the insta-kill hits me, I usually sunshine. He was on 20,000 life points, so you don't really need the sunshine, honestly. So I asphyxiate into wild magic, revenge before the minion comes, and then just barricade, and finish off the kill. So that P5 was one of my worst. Usually after detonate and tsunami, the minions should be done, but I wanted to use the clip because it wasn't the best. It was kind of rough. So I do hope this quick walkthrough is going to help you with Telos, because 999 claims are very fun to do. If you have any questions, please go ahead and leave them in the comments and I will reply and help you out as much as possible. If you want to see more, then go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Also slap the like button for me, it really helps spread my content around the RS community. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace!